It's sad but true. Too many Americans will lie awake tonight because they're worried about losing their job. They've lost their job. Or maybe their spouse has, their son, their daughter. They're tossing and turning about, can they pay the power bills? Can they make the next house payment? Someone going to foreclose upon the car, repossess the car? People are concerned about having a job to go to. In many instances, any kind of a job to go to. If we're going to get our economy back on track, the only thing that will make it back on track will they do something about jobs. People have to go back to work. And that's why we're dedicating this year to a lot of things, but our number one emphasis is going to be creating jobs. It's a plan that will create the right conditions for the private sector, right position for the private sector to hire more people. It's a plan for both our short-term recovery and our long-term prosperity. We believe we'll do it in the right places. 96% of the jobs created in the last 10 years have been by small businesses. So we're going to have to focus on letting more entrepreneurs do their thing. When we make our homes and buildings more energy efficient, we'll create jobs, we'll strengthen our economy and environment at the same time. When we invest in improving our roads, bridges, and dams, we'll create jobs so workers can support their families and the infrastructure to support the programs about which we speak. When we put more police on the beat and more teachers in the classrooms, we'll not only teach our kids, but also have them and their families safer. Our agenda is not about politics or partisanship. We have a jobs agenda. It's about putting people back to work. Our motivation is to help Americans sleep a little better. Our mission is not to stop until every American who wants a job can get a job. And our message is this one. For Senate Democrats, creating jobs is job number one. Senator Durbin?
Thanks, Senator Reid. A little over 2 months ago, the Majority Leader asked Senator Dorgan and myself to meet with the members of our caucus and talk about their ideas that might help to spur job creation across our country. We had several large meetings and then a lot of staff meetings coming together, and there were a lot of very good ideas that came forward in this. We tried to cull them down into a group of good ideas, the strongest ideas, and we tried also to make it clear that some of those would be going through the Finance Committee that Chairman Baucus chairs, others would go through other committees. And I'll allow Chairman Baucus and Senator Schumer to address some of the tax aspects of this as well. But I will say that in general, what we are trying to do, first and foremost, is to move jobs to spark creation of jobs among small businesses. If you'll notice here at the bottom of the first page, we talk about creating opportunities for small businesses. SBA lending programs, for example, that have worked, that we know work, that will provide credit and opportunities for small businesses. Export promotion that we know will create good paying jobs. Credit opportunities for small business not currently available. There's also a move to make sure that we try to lessen our dependence on foreign oil and improve energy efficiency at home. That's why we have a section in this that relates to ways that we can help homeowners and businesses alike strive toward energy efficiency and create jobs in the process. When it comes to creating basic jobs, we of course have our Highway Trust Fund that is an important part of this conversation. We think that we can do more by investing into transportation, school infrastructure, which Senator Harkin and others have pushed for, water infrastructure, regional economic development. And finally, we know that as we strive to create jobs, there is also going to be, unfortunately, a force at work that is going to cost us jobs. Many state and local governments are laying off some critical people, teachers, firefighters, and policemen. We're going to try to find ways to make sure that those jobs are not lost so that the number of kids in the classroom or the neighborhoods that are currently protected aren't disadvantaged because of the state of the economy. The bottom line is this. This is a good faith offering on the Democratic side. We are inviting our friends on the Republican side to join us. Bring your best ideas forward. Let's put these on the floor and move on them with a sense of urgency. We need to have a jobs agenda that will pass through the Senate, that will create jobs across America as quickly as possible. It is the highest priority of the people of this country. It should be the highest priority of the Senate.
Senator Hawkins.
Thanks to the swift and bold actions we took last year, we've helped pull our economy back from the brink of collapse. Economists say that we're now on the road to recovery. But for hard-working Americans still struggling to get by, with unemployment 10% at least, recovery is not coming quickly enough. More than 7 million workers have lost jobs since the start of the recession, and far too many remain unemployed. This is why we must focus on job creation and do it now. I thank Senator Reid, Senators Durbin and Dorgan, and my fellow committee chairmen for their hard work finding smart, creative ways to address our unemployment crisis. We must use every legislative tool we have available to create good-paying jobs for American workers. I look forward to considering the first bill in our job creation agenda to get our economy moving again. I am optimistic that this effort will gain broad support. And let us work together to get Americans back to work this year.
I think Senator Durbin has described well what we have done now for a couple of months, and that is work through our caucus to evaluate what are the good ideas to put people back to work. It is the case that our economy has been through a very perilous time, and we've seen now some stability, but we've got a lot to do to put people back on payrolls. There are several economies out in this country at work, and there are 15 million or so people this morning that get up and decide, I've got to go look for a job because I'm jobless. They can pick up the paper and they can read and see that part of our economy is showing record profits and preparing to pay record bonuses. And those 15 million people are asking the question, who's on our side? Who's standing up for us? Who's looking out for us? Who's trying to find jobs to put us back to work? And the answer is, we have an agenda that says here are a series of ideas that we believe can lead to small and medium-sized businesses employing more people. Access to capital. We held a hearing in the policy committee. We had 3 small businesses come to that hearing, all of which were profitable, all of which were ready to expand and hire new people, none of which could find the capital to do it. We propose that a mechanism by which we provide some capital to small and medium-sized businesses that can allow them to hire new people. 60% of small and medium-sized small businesses especially, 60% of their capital needs, their borrowing is done on credit cards. We can do better than that. Creating jobs through energy efficiency, 20% unemployment in the construction trades. We can put people back to work doing something that is important for the country. So we have put together an agenda. We ask for bipartisan support, and we'll work to get bipartisan support and hope that we can move as much of this agenda as is possible to put people back on payrolls.
Senator Schumer.
On Monday, I met with about 20 unemployed workers in Rochester and Buffalo. We sat around a table and talked. They were of every background, every income level. Some had only made $30,000 a year. Some had made $120,000 a year. But the pain on their faces. Most of them had been looking for jobs for a year, trying, families to support. One fella went to the top of his industry, tool and die. His business closed. He's been looking for anything since then. 6 kids at home, so his wife can't work, worried about the house being lost. These are painful stories, repeated over and over and over again. And I think we can say to the people of America, we heard the message of Massachusetts. The message of Massachusetts wasn't don't do health care. More than half the people polled said they like health care and we should do it. But they said focus immediately and don't take your focus off jobs, the economy, helping the middle class. And that's what we're doing here today with this agenda. Our leader has wisely called it an agenda. We will move immediately on some issues, and then we will keep going on different issues as we go through the year. But with a laser-like focus on jobs, because that's what the American people want and need. It is priority number 1 for the American people. It is priority number 1 for us. And this agenda shows the general directions in which we're headed.
Senator Reid.
Any questions?
Senator Reid.
Yes.
On my count, there's at least 4 different versions of the new hire tax credit, including one Senator Schumer. Which one do you prefer? Which one do you think should be included in the package?
I've had detailed conversations with Senator Schumer, Senator Casey, and there are others. But I'm going to look to the Finance Committee to come up with what they feel is the best one.